Good appropriate time of the day to you, friends and enemies. I am Richard, and this whole thing around us is LMTDTMFFR, or say it with me now. Limited time offer. No vowels. And how are you doing today? I hope you're doing exactly the same as you were doing a little while before, because we've only been a couple of seconds before we've done this, and oh my god, what have you done, you stupid game. There we go. Alright, I set all these up yesterday so they would all be in the window and everything else would be alright, but nope, apparently this one decided I'm not going to remember your things. I'm just going to go over to something else. But yes, we are looking at a game that is about things that are slightly less evil than cats. We are looking at Vampire Therapist. At least I hope that is how it is meant to be broken up into. So yeah, let's have a look. Safe in Our World, the video games mental health charity. So that's a good thing that they... Oh, you can't quite see that because I am in the way. Let me turn myself off. There, yeah. Safe in Our World, the video games mental health charity. It's a clickable link, just in case you feel, the things in this game might affect you. Has a quick look to see what they have here. No, they don't have a warning thing up anywhere. So never mind. Alright. No, mature content descriptor. War, abuse, sexual oppression, suicidal ideation, religion, and addiction in a historical context. So, those are the things that we should watch out for here. Right. And I'll put my face back on. Boop. And now, let's have a look and see how good we are as a therapist. Answer? Not very. It is. There we go, yeah. Oh, and it even gives us a warning here. Vampire Therapist explores or touches upon sensitive topics such as war, abuse, addiction, sexual oppression, suicidal ideation, religion, and of course, death. It may be uncomfortable setting for some readers. We recommend that readers with a history of trauma related to any of these topics approach the game with caution. Naturally, a game about vampires will also involve blood and sexual themes. Strong language is also present. Vampire Therapist was developed in consultation with licensed therapists, but should not be considered a substitute for therapy. Unless you're a vampire. Well now. I mean...
My name is Sam Walls, and I'm a dead man.
Good to know.
Well, kinda dead at least. See, I'm a vampire. Now, if you think that means all that Dracula hooey, like hissing, wearing skin-tight leather, and hunting mortals for sport, I wouldn't blame you one bit. That's exactly the sort of thing I did in my younger years with my former gang. And let me tell you, a vampire who's good with a gun can be a real terror.
I mean, anybody with a gun who's good with a gun can be a real terror. That's the problem with guns.
Taught me my letters and showed me how my thinking was keeping me from finding any kind of peace. After they passed on, I roamed America's majestic wilderness for nigh on 90 years, figuring out myself and what it means to be a vampire. And I found revelation. What I realized was, it ain't fangs that make us monsters. It's the self-defeating ways we think. Anywho, as the world started getting smaller, my old vampire gang tracked me down. Them being my kin, I wanted to help them see the world like I did, but they still have the same monster mindset I used to have. Good thing I'm a quick draw. But I got hooked up with this newfangled internet thing and found a vampire who's helping my kin find their way. Fella named Andromachos, supposed to be 3,000 years old. He invited me to come out to Europe to learn from him. I figure someone older than time has got to have the answers.
Nope.
I'm going on a trip, I guess. This feels like my opportunity to do some good in the world. I've been looking, and now it's time to give back. Vampires ain't monsters. Or at least, they don't have to be. And come hell or high water, I'm gonna prove it to them.
Are you a vampire that is a therapist to vampire, a vampire therapist to vampires? All of these questions, and probably, others, will be answered. Leipzig.
Well, I think this
2024.
is the address. Number 27, Clean Flitter Mouse Strebe?
Strauss. Well, I'm glad you have, as good pronunciation as I would have, apart from I know that that's Strauss.
Sure is a hell of a lot of ruckus for this time of night. People stay up late here.
Vampires! I am clicking.
Well,
I have to click in this
these
bit.
folk are vampires. Better watch myself.
Why? You're also a vampire.
Guten Abend, folks. Sprechen Sie English?
More like a nightclub. I mean, it could be both. It could be a vampire nightclub. It could be a nightclub that invites other nightclubs in and then bites them, sucking out their precious patrons. I don't know. I'm not quite sure whether the vampire nightclub would suck out the blood of the people who came inside, or would try and vampire other nightclubs.
Yeah, hello, Alta. Are you here to party with us at the hottest club?
No, I'm just a simple cowboy who needs to find somewhere to put his bedroll and eat some beans. Tell them you're here to party. Ask about the dress code. Ask about Andromachus. Ask about the club. Got a nubbin mine in here and... Yes. Hey, tell me about the dress code. Am I okay for going up? Do I need to wear my shiny spurs?
I don't think what I'm wearing will fit the dress code.
The cowboy look is totally sexy, but you will get a bit sweaty.
I hope we will all get a bit sweaty.
Maxie,
Good thing we
alright.
run a little on the cold side, huh?
Sam, I missed your name. I wasn't paying any attention to the fact that it's coming up.
Don't worry, my Liebling.
Reinhard.
We make each other warm.
Reinhard, stop. Don't scare the American. I want to do that.
Maxi Liebchen, you're so naughty tonight.
Socialized healthcare. That is what I've heard scares most Americans, or suppose that scares a lot of Americans. So, if that's how we want to do this. Ah, exactly. Next thing I do is go to order tonight.
You are the naughty one.
Oh, I definitely ain't an American no more.
Was it the accents which gave it away? Was it the plane ride you took to get over here?
Snith just redeemed Make Me Say a Vowel.
I was expecting a third word there as well, but no, alright.
Snith just redeemed Sit on It and Swivel.
So the vowel is oh, either as in oh, or as in oh. I'm not sure, but oh my. Because I cannot do, nobody can do the oh my, like George Takei can do the oh my, but yeah, oh my. And oh my swivel. Yes, I got round and just make it back round again. Woo! Swiveling. Alright, Sam. You're not in America anymore. Oh, loud noises.
Richard's just redeemed Loud Noises.
I guess, as we've got an American vampire here, it's yeehaw! I'm not sure what it would be for a German vampire. There are modern vampires, so I'm not sure. The only one I can think of right now is Guten Tag, but that's not really, a loud noise. Whereas yeehaw is more a noise than a word. Yeah, I definitely ain't in America no more. Tell them you're here to party, ask about Andromachus, ask about the club. I'm looking for Andromachus.
I'm looking for Andromachus.
You mean the club owner? Ja, that is why we are here.
No.
If you're lucky, he will invite us to the private party at the end of the night.
Well, what happens there?
I think maybe it is too kinky for Americans to hear.
Well, this is an interesting way to start therapy, but alright. Oh. Quickly goes and Googles something. There's a song released reasonably recently by Jazz Emu, who is a comedy music guy, and it's called "Why You Should Screw Your Therapist." Groundbreaking mental health technique. So yeah, maybe that's where we're going here. I don't know. Maybe we should find out. Alright, yeah, okay, I finally admit it. I'm here to party. Just like you. I'm gonna have a rootin' tootin' good time. Yeehaw. I think there's therapy, like, good order.
I can cut loose. What kind of party is this?
The kind where we dance all night and get sexy.
Oh, we're them kind of vampires.
Ach so, there are better things to suck than blood, oder?
Although we have to get past the bouncer first. If we do not, I'm thinking our night is ruined.
Oh, wait a sec. There's something about what she just said. I can feel it.
No. Vampire
It
powers?
reminds me of one of my revelations about the funny patterns in the way we vampires think. Well, let's see. One type of thinking I noticed I called hot branding. That's when we brand ourselves with names we can't get rid of. There's high noon mind. That's when we treat a situation like it's a do or die showdown. And there's saloon thinking. That's when we act either helpless or invincible, like we've just drunk a pint of moonshine.
I mean, good for you in putting all of the things in cowboy-like terms.
I can always check my journal if I need examples. I kept all my notes about the funny ways we vampires think in there. I think I know which one of them funny ways they're thinking in, though.
I don't. I guess saloon thinking because you're helpless? I guess?
Hold on, compadres. You seem like the kind who can make their own fun.
I don't want to have my own fun. Imenacht is the only place to be on Friday night.
Alright. Private property. Do not read. Reward if found. I'm not using my controller. Alright. Cowboybloodsucker@vmail.com. Alright. Found this old notebook. I figured I'd take it with me to Europe. I figure it'll help me organize my thoughts. I'll separate into sections so you can jump right to them right quick. That way, when I need to go to a particular section of my notes, all I gotta do is hop over to that section. So when I want to go to a section, all I need to do is go to that section. Easy as falling off a horse. And falling off a horse is real easy. My clients. Oh, am I going to become a therapist? When I start getting therapy clients, I'll put my notes about them here. I'll update after every session. I figure I can see how they're doing over time. That is, if Andromachus decides I'm ready for this whole therapist business, crossing my fingers. And it's my journal, just for writing my ramblings while I'm out on this big trip. Not my official notes. Oh, that's just back. Alright, well that's just going to set me here. The funny ways we think. I realize vampires can think in funny ways sometimes, like reality is right in front of us and we just can't see it. Heck, pretty sure all humans do that. I'm pretty sure it's all humans who do that, not just vampires. Huh, that's interesting. You are thinking of vampires as a subspecies of human, or of part of humanity still. That is interesting that you are thinking like that. Why do we think? We do think funny. We do think funny thinking in particular ways, so I figure I'll write them down so I don't forget them. I'll include examples so I remember how they work. I think high noon mind is the answer. I think they are doing saloon thinking. But I don't know. Yeah, everything a big showdown. I don't know, maybe. Sometimes things can seem black and white, win or lose, feast or famine. Yeah, okay, that does seem more like it. Live or die. Everything's a big showdown. It can feel like we've got only two options, winning the day or ending up with a stake in the heart. That's high noon, man. Thinking extremes and ignoring all the in-betweens, we stress ourselves out when stakes are high. If I can't get the best saddle, my butt's gonna break, and it ain't no doubt. Either I show up ready to win the rodeo, or I better not show up. The fate of the Wild West is hanging on this gunfight. Saloon thinking, a lot of us bloodsuckers have a habit either of feeling responsible or soul control. Feeling responsibility or soul control, or of feeling completely helpless. Thing is, usually neither is true. Feeling helpless don't mean we're powerless, and feeling untouchable don't mean we're invincible. That's saloon thinking. Either way, our real capabilities are somewhere in between. With my dark powers, vampires shall dominate the mortal world. If a mortal discovers my secret, it's entirely my responsibility to deal with it. I can't deal with the bureaucracy of international travel with my coffin. I'm stuck in the USA forever. I wish I'd read that it was USA before that, then I could have had, a somewhat American accent instead of the wherever that accent was from. We vampires sometimes call ourselves awful names. I'm a failure, I'm unlikable. It's like burning ourselves with a big old branding iron. Every time we look at ourselves, we keep seeing those names. Hot branding is just calling ourselves names that do no good. Examples: I missed that shot. I'm just such a butterfingers. Crying over a horse? Well, you're sappy as hell. That fella don't like wearing leather. He's only a vampire wannabe. Right, and then we go over that. Yep. Alright, you're right. That does sound like high noon, mind. Do you need me to click one of these? Okay, because I can't advance it. Okay, high noon, mind.
Amigos, you're putting too much weight on this thing. It's a nightclub, not a high noon showdown. The night's full of possibilities.
Reinhardt, I don't know what this means, but I like the way the sexy American talks.
Vampires getting uppity. That's a bad one.
You make us think that maybe it is better we haven't gotten into the club, because we are now meeting you.
Hey, if meeting me makes your night better, I'm glad we met. I really gotta find Andromachos, though.
You have to get past the bouncer. He decides who gets in and who doesn't. And he hasn't looked our way all night.
Poor you. Let me just have a quick look at this, because I just want to see if this has a rating. Like, as in, only for 12 or over, or whatever. No? No? There's nothing there telling me anyway. Not on the Steam store page. Alright.
Maybe I'll have a little word with him.
Yeehaw.
Excuse me, friend. I hear you're the man to talk to around these parts. I'm here to see Andromachos.
Have fun, mate.
Hey, thanks, amigo. You have yourself a fine night, you hear?
Have yourself a fine night, yeah. Yeah. Yes. I mean, but I was curious how explicit this was. Whether, if it had an 18 rating, for instance, like only 18s and over could buy this product, then I would have gone, okay, maybe this isn't something I necessarily want to stream here, because that's not a thing I particularly want to show here. But yeah.
Cowboy, what about us?
Bring them joy, dash their hopes. I mean, why would I want to dash their hopes right now? Might as well.
Yeah, sure, they're friends of mine.
Have fun, mate.
Hey!
Well, come on, you two. We ain't got all night. Yeah! Dang, awful loud in here.
Come on, my liver, dance with us!
Well, you kids have fun. I'll catch up with you later. Tarnation, I'd rather hear a gopher giving birth than this.
No, I wouldn't rather hear a gopher giving birth than this. I mean, I'm not sure that there's any sound I would rather hear a gopher giving birth than.
I better talk to whoever's slinging drinks in this here saloon. They ought to know where Andromachos is.
What does that even sound like? Well, I'm certain as the internet is a thing, you could go and look up live go for birth sounds and, you know, get some video or audio of it. And no, if you redeem loud noises, I will not be trying to imitate anything like that. No. No. I see you. Your search history is already cursed. You don't need to make it worse. I mean, if it's cursed, it can't get any worse, can it? You're the perfect person to do this. 8.5 minute cooldown.
But pardon me, ma'am.
Snith just redeemed
Well,
stream.
well, look at you. We
I
get a
can
lot of
definitely do
80s
that.
fashion in here, but not usually the 1880s.
Oh, Crimson, of course, it's a blood type thing. Yep. Oh.
Snith just redeemed hydrate.
I have got to get water out. Fortunately, there's some in the bottom of my thing. So, I do not drink wine. It's just water, not wine. Don't worry about it. Well, Crimson, who is, you know, named after blood, I assume, and you've put a red bit in your hair.
What can I get you, cowboy? The special's Red Bull and vodka. You down?
Never drink Red Bull.
You're doing the right, yep, fine. You're doing the bit that I just did. Yeah. Water, not blood. I'm not a vampire. I mean, legend has it that when I die, I will become a vampire. But you know, we won't know that until after I die. So, and I'm not dead yet. So, there.
I'm actually looking for the owner. He around tonight?
Might be. What do you say your name was?
I didn't.
Sam Walls, begging your pardon.
Sam Walls, huh?
I'm just trying to think if there's some pun or something coming with Sam Walls. We have to break down these walls you have built around yourself. Maybe. That's the best I can do.
I don't think I know anything about a Sam Walls. After all, I'm just a know-nothing bartender.
That was hot branding, right? He said, trying to remember all of them. Oh. I didn't think there was anything over here. We made that. It's been about a week since I boarded the Monster of the Seas cruise ship, and I gotta say, I feel finer than frog hair. Alright. People are eating and screwing like there's no tomorrow on account of the fact that we're in the middle of the ocean. I mean, I don't think that's why they're doing that thing, but anyway. I've ranked for more necks in the last week than I can count. Since the ship's open all night, I rode a waterslide. For the first time in my own life. People were laughing at me for saying, yee-haw! But what else do you say to an experience like that? And in Rotterdam the other day, in Amsterdam now, arranging transportation for my coffin. Did some vampire sightseeing. Apparently these places have been accepting heathens like us for a long time. Went to the vampire coffee shop. They funnel in the stoners from upstairs to a secret club, and everybody has themselves a grand old time. Gave me the munchies something fierce. If you could go for some blood chips, extra sodium, if you please. April 19th. Right from Berlin today. I head to Leipzig tomorrow night, but figured Ash could check things out here. They got a club here where people are up all night doing all kinds of kinky stuff. I'm pushing for a quarter of a millennium in years, but these folks give me some lessons. And did. Got some folks too. Apparently they've got a nice art scene here. There's even local funding for video game development. Ain't this some kind of world? I can't believe people are still playing Star Invaders and whatnot. I like it here. I don't even have to speak German. And then we ain't got nothing here to read. Alright, well that's not what I wanted. That's all or nothing, and saloon and hot branding is call ourselves names that do no good. So yes. So you are saloon thinking.
She's branding herself a know-nothing. What I call that again? Well, hold on. What'd you just say?
I
I said I don't know any Sam Walls. I'm just a know-nothing bartender.
Is that not what I said? No, hot branding.
From where I'm standing,
I
see
clicked the wrong
someone
one.
with style and confidence, not just a drink machine. Don't go branding yourself like that's all you are.
Never mind.
Don't you go worrying about me, cowboy. The man upstairs warned me you were coming. I was just testing to see if you are who you say you are.
I mean, I could have shown you my ID.
Tell you what, let me give you something from our special reserve. I don't think you're looking for boots.
Well, thank you kindly, ma'am. I was wondering where the blood was. I met some vampires outside, so I figured this was a vampire club.
You met some goths, honey. They're here to dance and have fun.
So all these people are mortals?
How do you think the head vampire gets his blood? They can't wait to share it with him. It's a special experience.
Well, that's disappointing, isn't it? That there's still a hierarchy here. You're doing so much good trying to be a therapist and help out, but no, there's still a hierarchy and a head vampire.
He's the only real vampire here. Well, him and Bert.
And me. But Bert is a vampire. Well, I mean... No, that doesn't explain things at all. I mean, I know that I'm guessing that the bouncer is Bert, but, you know, I don't think that explains anything about our Bert.
You met him already. Bert, shuffle on over here. This one's here to see the big guy. Show him upstairs, okay?
Have fun, mate.
Bert is a vampire, that doesn't quite explain the gym. Exactly.
Good luck up there, cowboy. Hope you find what you're looking for.
But maybe he's hoping that that everybody who watches his channel will invite him in? I don't know. Are we... Oh, that's very slow.
Howdy. It's Sam Walls to see you, sir. The guy who's been sending you all them V-mails.
Yes, I know who you are, Samuel Walls. You have come here because you believe you can help our kin. The question is, are you first able to help yourself?
No, I'm too rubbish for that. Yeah, I'm sure I can help myself.
I've been fixing myself for more than a century now. I don't think I need help.
That's not what I said when I said I can help myself. I think I can help myself. I think I still need to help myself.
Then you must prepare to learn a most difficult lesson. We all need help, Samuel. I am pleased that you have come to receive mine.
Dang, you scared the heck out of me.
You must allow an ancient vampire his games. He will play them regardless.
No, I mustn't allow you that. You must break out of the cycle of this game playing. Isn't that part of the point of getting therapy? To break old cycles? Or old, hurtful cycles at the very least.
Please, sit down. What an absolute pleasure it is to meet you at last. I found your messages most intriguing.
Afraid there ain't much here in the way of intrigue. I'm just a lonesome cowboy looking for answers.
You know, I receive emails every day from vampires seeking my help. You are the very first to seek my aid in helping others. This alone makes you intriguing.
Well, dang. I think you're going to be sorely disappointed when you get to talking to me. I'm just honored you're giving me the time of night.
I have unlimited time, Samuel. I am pleased to share some of it with you. Our kind can be rather set in their ways. It is inspiring to see someone so young and eager to learn.
250 years old. I'm young.
Yeah, well, I wasn't much for learning when I was alive. Just making up for lost time, I guess.
It sounds as though you have been handling your own life better than most. I was particularly intrigued by these revelations you had while walking in nature.
Oh, yeah, them. Well, I give walking the credit. Nothing sorts my thoughts out better. After a few decades, I started seeing patterns in the way we vampires think.
Can you explain some of these patterns?
I've tried to explain them to other vampires, but it ain't never gone well. I can try, though. See, we tend to assume certain things just because we've been believing them since we were alive. Or we decide the world's against us just because we're hungry or tired or something. And when we start tackling problems that ain't real, we ain't fixing our real problems. That make any kind of sense?
Fascinating, Samuel. These revelations that you had in the woods, mortal psychologists have a term for them. They are called cognitive distortions.
Cognitive whoozy what now?
I think this Americanism is going to get on my nerves. I do not know that I would necessarily want to go through a whole game of this, or, at the very least, I would have to play it in spits and spurts, as they try to play up the Americanisms, woo-ah, etc.
Cognitive distortions. They are exactly as you described them. I will explain in a moment. Please, tell me about these specific revelations you had.
Explain High Noon Mind.
Well, I noticed how we stress ourselves out by making everything a battle of do-or-die absolutes. High noon mind, I call it. Like that feeling you get right before a big shootout.
Having not been, I mean, I guess maybe you've dueled, so it would be the same sort of thing, but with swords rather than guns? I don't know, actually. I guess maybe you've been in a duel for a pistol duel as well, vampire person.
I must confess I have no experience with this feeling. I engaged in mortal combat long before the age of gunpowder.
Okay, so, yeah, I mean, it's probably the same sort of thing.
But the sentiment you describe mirrors the words of my old friend Marcus Aurelius. He used to say that the magnitude of life's challenges often turn us into our worst selves.
You mean Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor?
Of course, his name was Marcus. Marcus was a bedroom name.
You mean you and the emperor were...
It was ancient Rome. Penetration was similar to a handshake.
Okay.
My apologies. I somehow forgot you were American. But let us discuss this high noon mind. I believe we can broaden your definition. Mortal psychologists call this phenomenon of binary thought polarized thinking, but I like to call it Nosferatu thinking.
So we're just going to have lots of different terms for the same thing. Fine.
Nosferatu thinking?
It means you are thinking in black and white.
I get it. That's pretty funny.
So we're actually renaming it to Nosferatu thinking. Okay. Sometimes things can be black and white, we're not lose physical element. Alright, okay. I mean, it would have been nice if there had been a crossed out thing. I don't know why you have to rename it.
I believe it encompasses the breadth of the distortion. One is not flatly weak or strong, good or evil, smart or stupid, a success or a failure. The truth is far more complex and colorful. Not every high noon gunfight ends in oblivion, correct?
Does for someone.
Yeah, that's true. Getting shot still ain't fun, but it ain't the end neither.
Not for you.
A perfect example, Samuel. Now, try to catch me using Nosferatu thinking. I will give you a series of statements, and one of them will contain Nosferatu thinking. I will repeat them if you miss it.
Okay.
If I do not drink blood, I will surely die.
I mean, yeah, that sounds like Nosferatu thinking. Black or white.
Is that Nosferatu thinking?
No?
No, Samuel. In this case, I am not arguing with reality. If we do not drink blood, we die. This is a fact of being a vampire.
Oh, okay.
Let us continue. Death eventually comes for us all.
I mean, no.
Mortals will always fear our kind.
No. Maybe?
Did you miss my Nosferatu thinking? Let me start over.
Yeah.
If I do not drink blood, I will surely die.
Okay.
Death eventually comes for us all. Mortals will always fear our kind.
That's Nosferatu thinking right there. I've met mortals who knew who I was and weren't scared.
Very good, Samuel. And
Okay,
even if
yeah.
you hadn't, to say mortals will always fear us ends any hope that they might not. Always is such a terminal word, is it not?
But death will come for us all as well is an always statement without using the always. Having a language that people are helping understand. So Nosferatu instead of high noon. I mean, yes, but why Why even bother to say it's high noon thinking, then? Why not start with it being called Nosferatu? Or you don't need to say, hey, this is the thing, and then introduce it and then change it immediately.
Would you like to discuss more of your
Unless
revelations?
that is the theme of the game. Yeah? It could be that changing your patterns of thinking and the way it's going is the theme of the game. I mean, that would be a very, very therapy-like thing. So yeah. Yes, let's explain hot
See,
branding.
I used to be in a gang. They were my whole existence. If you asked me who I was, I would have said, I'm a murdering bastard. Once I got away, I realized how small-minded that was. I was Sam before I was a murdering bastard, but that's how I was choosing to brand myself. My old gang's still around, and they're still branding themselves like that. They can't see themselves as anything but killers.
Very astute, Samuel. I favor the clinical term, however, which is labeling. You correctly discovered that labeling is a reductive act. When we call ourselves names, even if we find them accurate, we create prophecies we are doomed to fulfill. For millennia, I thought of myself as a killer. It was not untrue that killing was how I made my way in the world. I was an unstoppable warrior and assassin. But with this label, I limited myself for ages. I did not only kill people, I also killed potential aspirations I might have had. See whether you can catch me doing some labeling in my next few statements.
Okay,
I am so old, I am ancient.
maybe.
Call me whatever you like, but don't call me late for dinner.
No.
How shall I describe myself? Yes, I am a mass murderer.
Yes?
It seems you have missed my labeling. Let us begin once more.
No, I just wanted to see if you had a fourth
I
statement.
am so old, I am ancient.
I mean, that is a truth, that you are old, so you are ancient, but I don't know...
Call me
but
whatever you
calling
like,
yourself
but
ancient
don't call
is...
me late for dinner. How shall I describe myself? Yes, I am a mass murderer.
But I mean, calling yourself ancient also is a label, right?
Well, that's about as clear a labeling as it gets. Yeah, we vampires tend to do a lot of killing, but reducing ourselves to killers ain't doing us any favors.
Excellent, Samuel. You are correct. Labels can be cages that we lock ourselves in. I was a mere murderer for most of my existence because that is how I labeled myself.
Yeah, I did the same thing. Sam Walls, the murderer, reprobate, and good for nothing.
Those are not how I would describe the Sam Walls I see before me. Did you have more revelations to tell me about?
No, I don't want to explain anything further to you, because you're going to change my name, and I like saloon thinking.
I realize that as vampires, we can get the feeling of the power that comes with immortality and strength, but then we get hopeless and aimless over time. It's kind of like the fella you see in the saloon at the bottom of a bottle of whiskey. Either he thinks he can fight everyone, or he's crying into them last drops because he thinks life's hopeless. It's saloon thinking. Two extremes that probably ain't true.
A fascinating observation, Samuel. Your saloon thinking was described in my time as the battle between hubris and nemesis, the twin excesses of arrogance and self-pity.
Nemesis? We met her yesterday. Well, no, we didn't meet her yesterday, but she was in the thing yesterday.
Oh man, it make me wish I'd gotten some schooling. Maybe I would have figured this stuff out earlier.
You live forever, my friend. There is no rush. What you have identified is a phenomenon where individuals perceive either an illusion of control or a lack of control. Mortal psychologists call this phenomenon you have described a control fallacy. Rarely do we have complete power over our situations or no power at all. But we create this illusion that stops us from attempting to change our perceived situations.
Yeah, you're right about that. I used to think I'd never get away from my gang, and maybe that's what made me stick with them for so long.
Yes, you see how cognitive distortions keep us from facing reality, whatever that reality may be.
Yep.
Of course, I am so old and powerful that I am always in control.
Control fallacy.
You're testing me, ain't you? That's a control fallacy right there.
Well done, Samuel. I am indeed very powerful, but the cosmos holds no awareness of Andromachos. Of course, as you expertly pointed out with your analogy about the man at the bottom of a whiskey bottle, a control fallacy can be positive or negative. Listen to my next few statements and try to find a control fallacy. Simply let me continue if you do not detect one.
Oh, you're not going to repeat them?
The sun will eventually burn out. I will roam a cold, dead earth, and there is little I can do about it.
The thing is, usually neither is okay. There is little you can do. I mean, that is true, but it also sounds like a control fallacy. I'm going to say it anyway.
Well, that sounds like one of them control fallacies. With all eternity, heck, I think you could do something to save the sun.
I applaud your optimism and ambition, Samuel, but some things we must be prepared to accept, and the death of the sun is one of them. But let us continue.
I mean, but there is little you can do about the death of the sun, but you won't be doomed to roam Earth, a cold, dead Earth forever. I mean, assuming this is, this universe, or maybe a better one, a more scientifically enlightened, that's not quite the right term, but a better science one, maybe you could go to a different planet. So you're not doomed to ruin. You might be doomed to ruin this Earth, but you're not doomed to roam it.
My kitty cat died. I shall be lonely forever.
Is that Nosferatu thinking? I mean, no, that's not Nosferatu thinking. That's not labeling. Doomed forever, so control fallacy. Although that doesn't sound right.
I'm sorry about your sweet kitty, but you could always pick up a new one. Or there's lots of them just waiting for a loving home, so you don't need to be lonely.
It was just an example, Samuel. Well spotted. But I do speak from experience. I felt this way once when a pharaoh I was dating had our cat mummified. I went into a murderous depression that nearly decimated the continent. But I had the power to help myself all along by adopting a new friend in need of a home.
Oh, dang, don't let me get on your bad side.
I doubt you shall see it, Samuel. Did you have more revelations to tell me about?
No.
I think that's all of them. Or at least the ones that were the most obvious to me.
That you recognize the concept of cognitive distortions at all is most impressive, Samuel. What took me nearly 3 millennia to understand took you merely 2 centuries.
Oh, come on, you're just flattering me. I'm just a dope stumbling his way through one life.
Oh. Stop labeling yourself.
Are you now? Tell me, Samuel, what kind of cognitive distortion are you exhibiting when you call yourself a dope?
Yeah, I'm doing some labeling. I gotta watch myself, huh?
As long as we retain any humanity, we will have cognitive distortions. What we are aiming for is not to become perfect beings, but to understand and accept ourselves. As long as we can recognize cognitive distortions, we can address our real challenges.
Mortals, and how to get all of their blood. No? That's not the real challenges?
One cannot drink blood from a straw man, after all.
Huh. I ain't never heard that one before, but I like it.
If it helps solidify the concept in your mind, then I am well satisfied. I know you came to learn from me, so I will do my best to honor your good intentions. Let us ensure that you understand the concepts of labeling, control fallacies, and Nosferatu thinking. I will give you a series of statements, and each one will contain a cognitive distortion for you to identify. I will begin. If I invite over my vampire friends, I know I'm going to have to deal with guano all over the place when they turn into bats at the end of the night.
That is Nosferatu thinking. That is black and white.
Well, that ain't right.
No?
He's acting powerless,
Oh.
like a man clinging to the whiskey bottle. What Andromacos say that distortion was?
Well, I don't know
Invite
my stuff.
over my vampire friends.
So it's a
I
control
know I'm
fallacy.
going to have to deal
Because
with
you've got
guano
no
all
control
over the
over it
place
then.
when they-
Is that what
Well,
you're
that is a
saying?
control fallacy, sir. You're acting like you've got no control, but you could lay down some ground rules for guests, or some newspaper.
Or express concern to my friends that they have not been toilet trained. Very good, Samuel. Let me try another.
Well, not very good. Excuse me, not very good, Richard. You messed up.
I am Andromachos, the ancient darkness, the scourge of the Mediterranean, the mortal's bane.
That's labeling.
Well, that's definitely some intense labeling. Those are some hard names to get over.
You are not wrong. Those names followed me for millennia. It was most stifling. Let me try another then. If my club's revenues do not significantly increase, I will end up
Okay.
living on the street.
That is black and white. No, wait. Is that a control fallacy?
Oh, no,
No,
wait.
it is.
This is some
Okay, so
extreme thinking.
wow.
I know there's a cognitive distortion to describe that.
All right. Well, I mean, I am second guessing myself, and yeah, I am not clear on the difference between what is a Nosferatu thinking and what
If
is
my
a control
club's
fallacy.
revenues
That there's got to be Nosferatu thinking. There's a huge space between making a ton of profit and living on the street.
There's a huge space between inviting people over and them shitting everywhere as well, but that wasn't Nosferatu thinking. So I don't know. I don't know.
Indeed, you are correct. I run my club at a considerable loss, but 3,000 years of banking interest means that money is not really an object to me anyway. Samuel, now I am not only intrigued by you, but also impressed. I would
Don't
very
be.
much like to teach you my ways, but I must demand something of you first.
Anything. I'm here to learn.
You must receive therapy yourself. I will not have you seeing clients without a commitment to your own mental health.
Oh, now, hold on just a minute. I don't know that I need therapy. I'm feeling pretty good about myself these days.
Samuel, we all need therapy to live in this world. You have been speaking in cognitive distortions since the moment you walked into my office.
I have. I didn't even notice.
They are most insidious, but I am here to help you identify and challenge them. You have walked alone for too long, Samuel. Allow me to share my experience with you.
Well, all right, if you say so. I appreciate your taking the time to work on this, old cowpoke.
We have all the time in the world, Samuel. But for now, you must be eager for something fresh. Please, dance, drink your fill. We will begin tomorrow.
Okay, then. Well, sir, it's been an honor.
You don't have to call me sir, you know.
All right, then, Andromachos.
Andromachos.
Hey, Andromaco.
Just call me Andy.
All right, Andy. I'll see you tomorrow, then.
Andy the vampire. My god, no. Watch out, it is Count Andy coming for us. No.
Dang, look at all them mortals, sweating, blood pumping. I am thirsty, but there ain't no power on this earth that'll get me on the dance floor.
What did you write? Okay, so we all make cognitive funny ways with things. We exhibit more than one distortion at the same time, and some of the distortions are even subcategories of further other distortions. When identifying cognitive distortions is just one tool in a therapist's toolbox. Empathy and compassion are some of the best tools we got. Okay. Labeling, control process. No, okay, yeah, those are just the three. Ain't nothing to read. Also, we've reached the end of the book. Alright, okay.
Maybe I'll see if the bartender's got anything for me.
If it isn't Clint Eastwood again. How'd it go, cowboy?
My name's not Clint Eastwood. Call me by my proper name, please.
Seems I'll be sticking around. Guess I'd better get used to things around here.
Good to hear. About time someone helped Andy with his work. Seems you vampires have a lot of problems to fix. Name's Crimson, by the way.
I already knew that, thanks to the text box. Thank you.
Fine meeting you, Crimson. How do you know so much about what Andy's doing?
Pillow talk. I'm his blood partner.
No shit. How's a mortal get hooked up with an ancient vampire?
I'm a rock climber. I stumbled into one of his lairs in Madagascar, found a cave while climbing a mountain, and there he was, naked in a hot tub.
Dang. Must have been a sight.
You ain't kidding, cowboy. Didn't expect a luxury apartment with a gorgeous naked vampire inside of a mountain. We hit it off, and he asked me to come back here with him. I like an adventure, so I said, what the hell? I'll date the gorgeous Dracula. But what are you doing talking to me, cowboy? The blood's running hot on the dance floor, and these kids don't mind a little biting.
Ain't no way I'm dancing. There's gotta be a better way to get something fresh to drink.
Reinhard, look. It's the sexy old guy again.
You should buy us a drink, old guy. You'll probably get lucky. Actually, you will definitely get lucky.
Pleasures of the flesh ain't exactly what I'm after tonight.
I mean, yes. I mean, I realize you have to drink to get sustenance like that, but is that not a pleasure of the flesh? Is not eating a pleasure of the flesh? Isn't that one of the reasons that, you know, we have different categories of food, of how pleasurable something is to eat?
That's because you haven't experienced these pleasures with us yet. Buy us a drink and you will discover great satisfaction by uns.
Tell them they're not your type. Tell them alcohol is bad for them. Tell them that you don't have any money. Tell them they can support themselves. I mean, am I just gonna give all of these excuses? I don't know. What am I? I want to go out and get something to drink, but I'm not gonna drink the people who want me to drink them. All right. You can support themselves. I don't know what you mean by that.
I ain't buying you a drink. I think I'd be insulting your economic status.
Mein Lieber, don't worry about us. We just like to feel special. We have lucrative jobs in IT.
Oh yeah? Well, maybe you can help me. See, my printer died again. Getting real tired of these things.
Please, we are here to party. But get a laser printer.
Well, thanks for the tip. That ink seems to be more valuable than blood. Look, kids, you seem like nice enough folks, but I wasn't planning on buying drinks tonight.
Stop teasing the cowboy, Kinder. They're just messing with you. Drinks are free here.
But dang, really? Ain't never been to a saloon with free hooch.
I might have identified why your business loses money there, Andy. Maybe. I'm no business person, but I think I might have found the reason. I mean, certainly if you have to pay to... if you're earning so much money that you can afford to run the club every night and not charge anybody anything ever, then that is a good thing. But also, you have more money than anybody could possibly ever need. So, you know, why aren't you using your powers to smash capitalism?
Call it a drink exchange.
Huh. So, everyone here knows they might be sharing blood?
Only as long as there's consent. We like to create a safe environment here.
I guess you could get banned. If you turn up and you every night and just go, I want a drink, and just sit there and drink and say, no, I'm not giving away my blood. Stay away from my neck, you filthy vampires. Then I guess you could get banned from this place, and then you would never be able to come in. But hey, but there's only 3 vampires in this place at the moment. The bartender, Sam, and Andy. And Dracos. So, I mean, the chances of you actually having to give out blood, very, very low.
Why don't you take Reinhard and Maxie here back to the kink room?
Wait, kink room?
Mm-hmm. You're not in Kansas anymore, cowboy. We are not afraid of sex here.
Give it a new... Sure,
I'm
whatever.
from Missouri, but point taken.
Give it a neutral... We want to create a safe space here, so we're going to call it the kink room. Because, you know, that won't be off-putting to some degree of patrons at all.
Nobody has to do anything they don't want to do in there. Just have fun and drink your fill, handsome. I'm sure I'll be seeing plenty of you. Maxie, Reinhard, this is one of our special customers.
Ach so, ein Vampir. I'm thinking we are all getting lucky then.
My neck scrubs with anticipation.
Dang. Guess I'm going to a kink room then. Thanks, Crimson.
I knew a man who wore this much leather couldn't be boring.
Yeah, well, you got me pegged.
No, that's later on.
Is that what we are doing now? Give me the document and I will sign myself up for it.
Well, I really ain't in Missouri no more. Look, I'm more into biting.
Oh, your teeth look perfect. Are you going to bite me, Vitzos?
That's the plan. Who's going first?
Oh, me.
Well, step right on up.
Oh my god, this is gonna get bite blue veins.
Oh, das hat sich gut.
I don't know if I got them or not. I assume I did.
Oh, that's a good thing.
Is it my turn yet?
Sure thing. Come on over.
Bite blue veins. Alright, so I mean I guess I'm trying I don't know. I'm trying to get the blue and the red?
Oh, Reinhardt. The hot old vampire wore me out.
Did I not? I don't know.
Me too, Maxi. I feel as though I have set up a mail server.
Reinhardt, mein Sucke Fledermaus. Ich bin so müde, sexy so sein.
I will get us a taxi cab, Liebchen. Und du, Cowboy? Next time we will talk about that thing you mentioned earlier.
Oh yeah, sure thing, fella. You can help me with my new laser printer.
That's not what they were talking about, but hey.
Now that I've had something to drink, I should probably get to my coffin.
Samuel, wait a moment. I see you got your fill. Are you heading out?
Yeah, I figure I could use some shut-eye. I locked up my coffin over at the storage center.
Storage center? Please, you can use my guest coffin. I insist. You must be well rested for the challenges ahead.
Guess I got a big night tomorrow, huh? I should get a good day's sleep.
Wonderful. Please, follow me.
Well, dang. This is mighty plush. Guess it's one of them smart coffins.
Oh, that's cool and everything, but I don't want... When I go to bed, I just want to sleep. Or, but I don't want to watch television or anything. I get up and go somewhere else to do that sort of stuff.
Let's see what's on TV.
No, let's not.
Hey, I remember this movie. We were so proud to finally get some representation.
Out of copyright, so you can put it in there. That's great.
Not sure I should stay up watching movies.
Or maybe
though.
not. No, maybe that isn't an old thing. Yeah.
Well, ain't much else to do in here. I think it's about time I hit the hay. Hope I'm cut out for all this.
I mean, if nothing else, putting the TV at the bottom end of that coffin means that I can kick it in the middle of the night now. Which is, not great. I mean, I don't go around kicking my feet out all the time while I'm asleep, but it's a thing that could happen. So,
Samuel, good evening. I hope you slept well.
I don't know. Let me check my journal. I assume that's what updated, yeah. Phew, what a day. Made it at Andy's Club in Leipzig. Folks are real nice there. A couple of gospel real friendly. They've got a dark tootin' bartender. A darn tootin', sorry, not a dark tootin'. A darn tootin' bartender and even a friendly greeter. Don't talk too much, but I can tell he's an introspective sort. Now Andy, that's one hell of a vampire. He's just got this presence. You can tell he's 3,000 and that is freaky as heck. But he makes you feel at home. But naked? I don't know how else to describe it. Oh, and I went to a kink room? Yeah, Samuel's kink room. My big brother, what I got a kick out of that one. I ain't gonna write about it here. I should get some sleep in this fancy coffin. Andy let me anyway. In this fancy coffin, Andy let me anyway. I mean, you found some real friendly goths who went to the kink room. So, I mean, you have written about it.
Like the dead, as they say.
I was hoping to save you some breakfast, but I've already sent them on their way.
Oh, that's all right. I'm still pretty full from last night. Them goth types were practically throwing themselves at me.
I am not surprised. Perhaps I should be concerned that some of my guests will follow you home.
Well, gosh, if I still had mortal circulation, I'd be blushing.
Why are you so embarrassed, Samuel?
Ah, hell. Guess we should just save it for therapy, huh? We gonna get started now?
If you like.
Why not? I'm eager to get going. Let loose, Doc.
Very well. Let's start with the first question any therapist asks then. What brought you to me? Why is becoming a therapist so important to you?
because I did so much bad in the past that I want to make up for it. I think it is a good idea to make people better.
Well, gosh, I remember what it was like, being all angry, hungry, and scared all the time. It ain't no way to live. When I see vampires acting the way I used to, I just need to show them there's more to unlife.
And why is that up to you?
You, of all people, know how lost our kind can be. Preying on the weak, dating mortal high schoolers. I've got to make them see their potential. That's what I'm here for. I know it.
Dating multiple high schoolers. We're taking a jab at Twilight. I mean, huzzahs. I just wonder how many vampire references there are going to be in this.
That is a lot of responsibility to place on yourself.
You got a funny look in your eye. Am I doing one of them distortion things?
You are most perceptive. Yes, perhaps you can tell me what it is. When you say you are here to make vampires see the world differently, in what way are you distorting reality?
I assume it's a control fallacy, because you're trying to control everything?
Well, I guess that's a control fallacy, right? I can't assume I'll be able to help other vampires the way I was helped.
But you weren't helped. I mean, you helped yourself, so I guess you were helped.
Very good, Samuel. Control fallacies are hard to avoid when one feels strongly about something. Your fate is not to transform every vampire you ever meet, even those who are your clients. You will do what you can do, and that is enough. But I am eager to learn how you develop this desire to help our kin find a different way of thinking.
Well, like I told you when I first emailed you, I was a real nasty son of a bitch when I first became a vampire. When I look back and see what a no-account piece of shit I was, I ain't nothing but embarrassed. It all seems pretty stupid to me now. Here we are living forever and all we can do is kill? It's the dumbest thing I ever did here.
I am going to stop you for a moment. Stupid, no-account piece of shit, nasty son of a bitch, dumbest thing. Do you hear the way you are talking about yourself?
Leave alone.
With respect, sir, I earned all them names. I killed women and children. Half the ghost towns out west are my doing. I didn't think of nobody but myself.
Pretend you are my therapist. If I sat here and called myself a no-account piece of shit, what would you tell me?
I'd say you were doing some labeling. And I guess I'd tell you to look at yourself a little more kindly.
Extend the same compassion to yourself then, Samuel. How are you to move on from being a nasty son of a bitch if you are labeling yourself?
I mean, sometimes it is important to label yourself in that way so that you know what you are or were and how you can move on from that. I'm not saying it's great, but labeling yourself like that, so that you know what you want to not be anymore.
If you wish to be a guide to other vampires, you must start with compassion for them and for yourself. So, now that you've gotten all that horrible name-calling out of the way, please tell me, how did you find your sense of purpose?
Well, I was on the run, you see. The Wild West was ending and the Pinkertons were starting to get the better of my gang. I went into hiding and found a strange group of folks out in the country. They knew I was an outlaw right away, but they didn't judge me for it. They didn't even care that I was a vampire. They welcomed me like a friend, even shared their blood with me. They taught me how to appreciate the beauty of the night, and I started seeing things I'd never noticed before. They taught me my letters, philosophy, and how to question things instead of being scared of them. I think about them every day of my own life. They somehow freed themselves of all the judgments of the time and were better off for it.
These must have been the 19th century American transcendentalists, yes?
Yes, sir. I'm glad I died when I did, because their like just don't exist no more. Once my community died out, I started walking. That was something else they taught me how to do. There ain't nothing like having a walk and a think.
I don't know anything about 19th century transcendentalists like that in America. Maybe something to look up.
I walked in nature for about 90 years and just took in all the grace and beauty of my country. I guess I was kind of selfish, though. I should have been helping other vampires the way the transcendentalists helped me.
That's black and white.
Why?
Why waste 90 years walking when I should have been helping others? Seems pretty obvious to me. I could have done a lot of good in that time.
But your should turns that which you could find fulfilling into a duty. You create an extrinsic motivator. Good statements are another cognitive distortion, something created by your own mind. Nature asks almost nothing of you. Even if your should comes from a place of good. It creates undue pressure. And what do we do once we are pressured? We resent the shoulds. We procrastinate. And as you know, we have a lot of time to procrastinate.
You got that right. Why do today what you could do next century?
What are you saying about should statements? Sometimes we judge others and ourselves within arbitrary rules on how things should be, and then we get hopping mad when our expectations aren't met. Should statements can put a lot of pressure on us. Right? Too many universal rules. Heck, we should probably be dead because our hearts ain't beating, but it seems that ain't true. Examples: I'm a vampire, I should live in a castle. When you're in a gang, the gang needs to be your family, and no one else. Cowboy must never show fear. Show me that again? Cowboy must never show fear. I mean... Isn't that a control fallacy again? No. Yeah. Feeling responsible for... No, where's the... Labeling? I don't know. No, that I mean... I'm not sure, because calling yourself a cowboy and labeling yourself as... Or labeling yourself as a cowboy and showing no fear... I don't know.
Exactly. Should statements remove the intrinsic joy from that which you find fulfilling?
Hold on, though. Ain't there some things we really should do?
Of course, there are things we must do. But nature herself tells us what they are. We invent the rest. Here, let me give you an exercise. Listen closely. See whether you can find the should statement that is a distortion. I should go to the vampire dentist. You know what they say. If you have bad fangs, you get bad blood. I should drink blood today.
You definitely should.
I should take my blood partner Crimson out on a date.
I think that one?
Saying you should take Crimson out on a date is a should statement. You've turned something you want to do into something you have to do.
That's right, Samuel. You know, I couldn't be more pleased with you. Your time in nature was clearly well spent.
Well, thanks, I suppose. But if you don't mind my saying so, I hope you're treating that mortal lady right.
Thank you. Please, ask her yourself. I imagine she would share her blood with you. You look like her type.
Hold on. I've only been in Europe for a couple of days. I ain't gonna go after my teacher's girlfriend.
She does what she wishes, and that is why I chose her as my blood partner. Samuel, even if it beats no longer, you have a good heart. I think you will be an excellent therapist.
So far, that good heart of mine hasn't amounted to much, but I'm willing to give it my best shot.
You are uncomfortable with praise, aren't you, Samuel? Every time I say something positive, you find a way to negate it.
I just don't think I should be doing any bragging. I spent my first 50 years killing. I spent the next 90 walking in the woods.
It's made you into the person you are today, which is somebody who is empathetic and wishes to help others.
I've tried to walk a better path since then, but I ain't no saint, Auntie.
I did not say you were. Having met several so-called saints, I can attest that none of them were either. I understand your discomfort, Samuel. I, too, have done terrible things that I cannot erase. But is erasing the good I have done worthwhile?
Well, I guess when you put it like that, it sounds kind of silly.
It's another cognitive distortion, one that mortal psychologists call disqualifying the positive.
Which means, on account of the nasty stuff I've done, I can feel like a real good for nothing sometimes. That's disqualifying the positive, cancelling out the good and leaving the bad. It ain't a distortion to see the positive in yourself or in a situation. It's just being honest. Examples: the Three Stooges just smack each other in the heads a bunch, though I still like them. Yeah, I guess I can turn into a bat, but any vampire worth of fangs can do that. She rescued a kitten, but she drinks mortal blood every night, so one good deed means nothing. I mean, drinking mortal blood isn't a bad deed, necessarily. It's drinking and killing somebody that would be bad. And if she drank and killed people, and she rescued a puppy, then... or a kitten, or whatever, then I don't know. I mean, the thing she did is a good act, but that doesn't necessarily make her a good person, because it is one thing out of a multitude of other things. And perhaps she deserves to be, punished, or whatever the extent of the law says should happen to her for that.
I understand that the actions of your past are difficult to bear, but what we are here to do is accept reality, with both its positive and negative aspects.
Yeah.
I am not saying that you should disqualify your negative actions, but merely note when you disqualify the positive ones. Let us try an exercise. See whether you can challenge me when I disqualify my positive deeds.
All right.
I am Andromachos, one of the most powerful vampires alive.
Okay. I don't know if you're labeling yourself, because vampire has connotations. I don't know whether that means something in this universe.
Before I became the vampire I am now, I did exceptionally terrible things.
Okay.
I have defiled the innocent. I have killed countless people.
All right.
The good I now do pales in comparison to the evil I have done. Regardless of my past evil deeds, I am quite good looking. You didn't catch me disqualifying the positive. Let's try again. I am Andromachos. Before I became the vampire I am now, I did exceptionally terrible things.
Are you saying that before you became a vampire, or are you saying that before I became the person I am now? I was a vampire. I was a horrible vampire. I then became a good vampire. Is that what you were saying? Or are you saying I was a horrible human being, then I became a vampire, and I have done bad things as a vampire, but I did exceptionally terrible things as a human?
I have defiled the innocent. I have killed countless people. The good I now do pales in comparison
that
to
is the
evil
disqualifying
I have
the
done.
positive. I mean, because you said the good.
That's the one. You're literally disqualifying the positive by comparing it to the evil stuff you done.
Well done, Samuel.
But I want to hear all of the
recognition
things.
Of this distortion will serve you well when you start to see clients tomorrow.
Whoa, tomorrow? I only just started learning these here cognitive distortion things.
Been doing them for 90 years.
I will, of course, be with you. You needn't worry. I can sense your instincts and will help you.
But tomorrow, I just don't feel ready yet.
Nosferatu thinking?
My friend, we are never truly ready. But if it would ease your concerns, we can practice with further examples. Would that be helpful to you?
Yeah, very much so. Yes, please.
Yeah, I think I could use the help.
Very well, Samuel. Let's try some examples. I will give you a statement, and you find the cognitive distortion in it. I am far sexier than movie vampires. Therefore, I should be a movie star.
Control fallacy? You're not disqualifying the positive. It's not a should statement. Well, I mean, you do say I should. So, you know. Oh. Sometimes we judge others on ourselves with arbitrary rules on how things should be. Okay. Yes. I mean, you say should.
Oh, yeah, that's an easy one. That's a should statement right there. But you're not insecure enough to be an actor anyway.
Excellent, Samuel. Would you like another exercise?
Yes, please.
If I cannot consume high-quality blood, I might as well drink blood from Florida.
Alright. It's not disqualifying the positive. It's not a should statement. I don't think it's a control fallacy. You're not labelling yourself with anything, so at the moment I think it's Nosferatu thinking. Black or white.
That's Nosferatu thinking, ain't it?
Correct, Samuel. That being said, I am sure there is still decent blood to drink in Florida, but I would bring a test kit anyway.
I mean, there's...
Would you like another exercise?
Yes, please.
I am an antediluvian old fart.
That's labelling.
Well, that sounds like labeling to me. You ain't just an old fart. Are you actually older than the flood, though?
Do I look that old?
You said you're over 3,000 years old.
Not at all. I was just...
I am joking, Samuel. Don't worry. The myth of the flood was at least 1,000 years before I was born.
So 2000 BC, you're saying?
Would you like another exercise?
Yes.
With
please.
my terrifying powers, I know I shall never be destroyed.
Control.
I think that's a control fallacy, unless you know something I don't.
That's correct, Samuel. Though my powers are indeed phenomenal, the universe holds mysteries and dangers I cannot fathom. Would you like another exercise?
Yes, please.
I may hold vast knowledge, but acquiring it was inevitable thanks to my immortality.
Control fallacy.
Try once more,
No?
Samuel. Is what I am saying fair to myself? I may hold vast knowledge, but acquiring it was inevitable thanks to my immortality.
Are we disqualifying the positive there? Okay.
I know that one. That's disqualifying the positive for sure.
I knew you would catch that one. Would you like another exercise?
Yes, because I didn't catch
I
that
am
one.
lazy and useless because I slept the night away in my coffin.
I mean, I don't think sleeping the night away in your coffin sounds like a great thing. It sounds very positive, but I don't think you're disqualifying the positive. I don't think you're shoulding. You're not labeling. You're labeling yourself lazy and useless. Is it labeling?
That's just labeling, Chief. Ain't nothing wrong with having a sleep in once in a while.
Well done, Samuel. Would you like another exercise?
Yes, keep
I
giving
got
me
blood all
exercises.
over me the last time I drank. I am always so messy.
I mean, you did drink blood. That's not the positive, though. It's not a should statement. You are always so messy. I mean, you're labeling yourself as messy.
I am making quite
No.
a judgment based on a single incident. I got blood all over me
Is
the
that
last time I
Nosferatu?
drank.
That sounds like Nosferatu
All right.
thinking to me.
Yeah,
Everyone
I-
has a messy feed from time to time.
That's absolutely right. The dry cleaning bill is punishment enough without the self-judgment. Would you like another exercise?
Yes, because obviously
I
I'm
should
not
speak
getting
at
it.
least 300 languages, including Java. I do live forever after all.
Oh, that's a should statement.
But
Just
that's one of
because
them
you're saying
should
should.
statements, ain't
Nah.
it? Nobody's making you learn Java.
Thank goodness for that. Would you like another exercise?
Yes. I need
Whenever
more.
I meet a crypto vampire, I cannot control myself. I must destroy them.
I mean, is that a control fallacy?
Well, that sounds like a control fallacy
Because
to
I
me.
mean,
I'm sure you don't have to kill crypto vampires.
but it's also black and white thinking.
Indeed, Samuel.
In
They
a
are dead
degree.
inside anyway. Would you like another exercise?
Yes, because I am
Someone
just
complimented my suit the other day, but he did so only because he feared my godlike powers.
You're disqualifying the positive there.
Sounds like you're disqualifying the positive to me. Your clothes are pretty damn snappy.
And, of course, I could not know whether he was afraid of my godlike powers.
Maybe you could.
I think that is plenty of practice. I applaud your diligence, Samuel. Do you feel more confident now?
No.
I think I'm good.
All right, Samuel. You must be hungry now. I suggest you get a liter inside you. We have a big night tomorrow.
How much is a liter?
Just get enough to drink, Samuel. We will not be able to work if you are hungry or tired. Now, please excuse me. I do have a date with Crimson tonight. I suspect I shall not return until nearly morning.
Oh, yeah, of course. I hope you have a nice night out, Mr. Andy.
Oh, you as well, Sam. Rest in peace. Alright, and that might be where we end this demo. Let's just see what's going on here.
Ah, Samuel, glad to see you are awake. Your first client is on his way.
Alright, no, let's do the first client. Let's have a look and see how most of it plays through. I mean, I assume it's going to play much like we have done here. Yeah.
What, already? Look, Mr. Andy, sir, are you sure I'm ready for this? These are people's brains I'm messing with.
Fear not, my friend. You are a powerful vampire in your own right. To be so young and have so much empathy is quite a gift. All you need to do is listen, and I know the truth will reveal itself to you.
Shucks, wish I had your confidence.
Well, to a limited extent, I can see the future. If you are about to misinterpret a client's distortions, I will set you back on the right path.
You can see the future?
It's not that impressive, really. You start to see the patterns after 1,000 years or so.
Disqualifying the positive.
Well, dang. If seeing the future ain't impressive, that's gotta be a distortion. Disqualifying the positive, it's gotta be.
You barely require my aid as it is. If you need guidance, I will provide it to you telepathically. Don't think about it too much. When you are 3000, such things will cease to impress you.
There you go again.
Let us look at your first client's case file.
Dr. Drain, huh? You ain't got no first name?
Dr. Drain, 430, male, English. Dr. Drain is a class of 1614 graduate of the Royal College of Physicians. He has been studying the nature of blood for the last several centuries. Became a vampire after a post-mortem blood transfusion experiment. Now runs a global pharmaceutical research company. He's now concerned that he has developed an addiction to a drug of his own formulation. Suggestion detected strong irritability on the phone. Investigating Drain's drinking and sleeping habits. Okay, interesting. Alright, I mean, I was just drawn to the fact that he graduated in 1614. Unless he has kept up with all of the latest medical techniques, he is not a very good physician now. But the fact that he runs a pharmaceutical company and has been doing all of this looks like he might actually be, you know, if not a qualified doctor, then at least a competent one who knows all of the latest techniques and stuff.
Many vampires go by one name. Families and titles seem to become more abstract after a certain age.
Huh. So is it funny that he kept the title?
Indeed. You catch on quickly, despite your habit of disqualifying the positive. I will let you work now. I shall be meditating in my coffin, but I will sense when you need my help.
But I...
Samuel, I know you can handle this. Be yourself, and all will be well.
Satan bless it all, I hate flying! Hey there.
Interesting. I mean, you're instantly saying that vampires are created by demons and Satan, etc. Seen no evidence of that. Maybe Andrakis knows more.
God's blood, what on earth are you?
I'm an American.
My name's Sam. I'm the new therapist. Make yourself comfortable, Dr. Drain. And American as well. Good God. It's not enough for you lot to take over the world of the living. Even the halls of the dead aren't safe from you. Oh well. I suppose your lot are all into this touchy-feely stuff, aren't you? And ignorance, even American ignorance, is bliss, I suppose. Oh, sweet ignorance, how I do wish I knew thee.
Yep, alright, fine. I mean, we've got American stereotypes, we might as well go with
I
them.
gotta ask Annie.
I mean... Yep. No, don't ask Andy.
Are you all right, Samuel?
You gave me this fella as my first client?
Why not? He is clearly hiding very little about his state of mind.
How am I supposed to help him when he already sees me as the bad guy?
Use your instincts, Samuel. Think about how you have felt in your darkest hours. What does this poor vampire want?
I think he wants to complain. I don't know.
I think he just wants to complain.
Perceptive, Samuel. He can hardly stop himself, can he?
So, what? I just let him complain?
Of course. Just give him a starting point to let it all out. It will make him feel better.
Well, if you say so.
Don't worry, Samuel. You are doing wonderfully. I will release your time now.
Well, are you just going to sit there? I was just gonna ask how your trip here was. My trip? My trip was bloody wonderful. Until my familiar got a flat tire and I had to fly 30 kilometers here as a bat.
Your familiar got a flat tire. Who? What is your familiar?
I hate being a bat and I hate flying. Do you know an owl tried to eat me? Me, a creature that has lived for centuries, treated like common prey. I'm surprised he was even interested. You should see what an ugly little beastie I am when I transform.
I can't click disquieting the positive.
All I
Alright.
could do was screech and squeak until he went away. Well, I suppose I'm alive, in a manner of speaking anyway. You all right there, pal? Yes, I'm fine. Well, I'm not, of course. I wouldn't be here otherwise. But for the sake of conversational integrity, fine. I take it you read my case file and know why I'm here?
His horse died. No, he has an addiction. You think you have an addiction. Or you are worried you have an addiction.
You're here for an addiction problem. Yes. Embarrassing, isn't it? What's to be embarrassed about? I remember when Ulysses S. Grant was president. Didn't seem to bother him. Oh, well, of course. How wonderful it is that I share the mental failings of people who only live a single lifetime. Hey, come on now. There's a part of us that's still mortal. Can't help that, just like we can't help being dead. So I'm discovering. Look, I just need some tips and I'll be on my way. Just give me all the tricks, whatever one does to make addictions go away. Tips? Let me think.
That's not how it works. There are no easy solutions.
Partner, there ain't no tips that'll magically cure you, but I'm here to listen. You know, I never in my life thought anyone would ever call me partner. Like partner, but not with a T. And I know how you English love your tea. Thank goodness we can still process tea. We cannot live on blood alone. I appreciate the concern, though. I must admit, I rather saw myself above this whole addiction thing. But tell you what, let's not worry about being above or below anything. You're here now, so let's see what we can do. What exactly are you addicted to? It's a form of plasma, a catalytic compound of my own design, a necessary component of my own scientific goals. You're losing me. Well, let me try to make it simple. I have been able to replicate and even alter the molecular patterns that vampiric erythrocyte surface receptors receive.
Yes, how simple you have made that, going from simple words to more complex ones.
Our unique physiology gives us an increased ligand affinity, which is how we are able to process blood the way that we do. I can extend this receptivity and thus achieve my true goal: synthetic blood, freedom from the hunger that plagues us, and hope for all humanity. Well, dang, that sounds pretty impressive, Doc. Well, it doesn't work without a vampiric catalyst, and that is the plasma I am addicted to.
Plasma.
Pathetic, isn't it? I have spent 400 years trying to steal the secret of blood, only to be engulfed by it, like Prometheus walking into a fireplace. Pathetic? Doc, where the heck would you get a word like that? You've come up with a synthetic blood. Man, I can barely get my spurs on some mornings. Maybe you've had a setback or two, but give yourself a little credit, compadre. Credit? For wasting 400 years? Practically speaking, I'm in the same place as I was back when King James was in power. Only now I have a drug problem.
1 second. Okay, you're 430. Yeah. It was 1640 that you graduated. Okay, yep. I was just thinking that you were 400 and, you know... Does 430 mean you have been a vampire for 430 years? Or does that mean that you have been... No, it cannot mean that you have been a vampire for 430 years, because we're in 2024 in the game, which is only 210 years ago. So 410 years ago, sorry. 410 years from the time of your graduation. So you must be 20, you must have been human and a vampire combined 430 years.
Perhaps I must face facts. My professor was right. Nothing we ever do will make a damned bit of difference.
No, not disqualifying the positive.
Samuel, listen to him. Do you recognize his patterns of thought?
Yeah.
There's some distortions in there, ain't there?
I knew you would sense them. Invite him to talk more about this failure of his.
I'll do my best. Now hold on just a minute there, cowpoke. I've heard you talk a lot about failure, but it sure sounds to me like you ain't thinking clearly if you think you're a failure. I am a realist, that's all. Look at me. 400 years of study and still dabbling with leukocytes. I'm saying I am surely the oldest, most well-studied doctor in the world. I should have achieved more than this.
You're the oldest and most well-studied doctor in the world. That sounds like you're disqualifying the positive, but it also sounds like a should statement, because you should have achieved more than that.
Well, who said you should have achieved more? Isn't it obvious? I should have something to show for 400 years of work. And what happens if you don't? Absolutely nothing at all. Well, that's my point. That is not as encouraging as you think it is. Ain't meant to be encouraging, just showing you a little reality. Well, it's all my fault, really. I cannot seem to motivate my scientists to reach the necessary level of dedication. It's always shocking to me how little urgency mortals have around death.
I'm not saying it's your fault.
Now that I'm addicted to my own drug, I have joined the ranks of mortal celebrities in my utter irrelevance. Come on, Sam, there's some distortions in that whole speech you missed, you dang fool.
Yes.
Oh, tarnation, now I'm labeling. Hey, Cowpoke, you mind repeating all that stuff you just said? I most certainly do mind, but very well.
Okay, so this is like Phoenix Wright, where you just keep going back over the thing until you get them all.
Look at me. 400 years of study and still dabbling with leukocytes.
Show me the things. No, that's not what I want. Cognitive distortions. Everything's a big showdown. Should have done something there. Control fallacy. With my powers, I should be able to dominate the world. Maybe that is it. All or nothing. You're not labeling yourself. You're not doing a should statement. You are not disqualifying the positive there, I don't think. If only I could remember the things that I say. It's black and white. No.
Let me aid
Same
you,
thing.
Samuel.
Yeah.
Our doctor friend is using belittling language. What kind of distortion does that indicate?
Look at me.
Yeah,
400
disqualifying
years.
them.
I don't know many
Yeah.
people who would call working with leukocytes dabbling. I mean, I gotta admit, I have no earthly clue what you're talking about. So unless you made up all them science terms, I think you might be doing more than playing with a chemistry set. Perhaps, but if we consider all there is to know about blood, I know precious little. But you know something. Yes, I concede I might know something about blood. I would hope so after 400 years. You still got more knowledge about blood than most, whether it's been 4 years or 400 years, amigo. Let's get back to what you were saying, though. I'm saying I am surely the oldest, most well-studied doctor in the world. I should have achieved more than this. Well,
I saw that.
it's all my fault, really. I cannot seem to motivate my scientists to reach the necessary level of dedication. It's always shocking to me how little urgency mortals have around death.
I think that might be a control fallacy. You should be in control.
So it's all your fault that you haven't come up with the perfect synthetic blood. It can't be anyone else's fault. Only I have the skill, the knowledge, and the
I
experience.
don't think so. I think a lot of people do.
Pardon me for saying so, Doc, but it sounds like what you're doing is pretty dang complicated. It sounds to me like you're some kind of god if you expect control over life itself. Please, I am a scientist, not a spiritualist. It is not control I seek, but understanding. And are you ever gonna have perfect understanding? No, of course not. I'm not a wizard. So how about not putting saving the world on one person, Doc? That is a simplification, but I take your point. As I was saying, now that I'm addicted to my own drug, I have joined the ranks of mortal celebrities in my utter irrelevance.
There you are labeling yourself.
Now, why would you go and label yourself irrelevant? What else do you call a man who has nothing to show after 400 years? I reckon I'd call him by his given name. Slapping a label on yourself don't do nothing but weigh you down. Oh, well played, Cowpoke. Perhaps I am being a little dramatic. Yes, I'm aware that in reality progress has been made, enough to get to this point. But I didn't come here to ask for a pat on the back and to be told I'm a good boy.
Sometimes that's what you need.
Ain't my department, but I hear they do some of that stuff downstairs. Yes, we all know very well that the Continentals are more sexually liberated than we are. But as I say, I don't want all this therapy stuff. I just want to stop using this damn drug. So what's so good about this stuff anyway? Why do you like it? I'm not certain. I don't remember what happens after I take it, but I wake up feeling, how do I put this, alive. Well, that don't sound so bad. A good nap can make me feel like a new man. I'm not talking about feeling refreshed. I mean I feel alive. As if I'm someone else, someone who lives. And I wake up and find, oh gracious me, I am not depressed. You mean to tell me that you're going to sleep depressed every night? Oh, nothing of the sort. Oh well, I'm glad to hear that. You are assuming that I can simply go to sleep and my global scientific enterprise will run itself. Oh wait just a gosh darn minute, you're telling me you don't sleep? Yes, it's not as though we can get much deader already, and I have work to do. So you're not sleeping, and you're always depressed. I think we're starting to get somewhere. Oh, don't be such a bumpkin. If you are a sapient individual, aware of the world around you, depression is the only sensible reaction. It has nothing to do with sleep.
mean, that doesn't sound like a... it's not a should statement. You're not labelling yourself. You're not disqualifying the positive. I always get... Is it black and white? Yeah, I guess it's black and white.
Come on now, it's a big world out there, and different things are depressing to different people. Everyone reacts to things differently. Ain't it true that a sensible person, as you call them, might even be a different degree of depressed? Very well, I suppose I might have been using a bit of mild hyperbole. Mild is putting it mildly, buckaroo. Buckaroo? Now I'm even more depressed.
Why? That was a great game. I used to love trying to pile things onto the back of the donkey without it springing up.
Regardless, I didn't come here to be a whiner. Oh, boo-hoo, life is hard. Yes, we all know it's hard.
You're labelling yourself a whiner.
Now why'd you say coming and talking to me makes you a whiner? Is that not what I currently am?
No.
Sounds to me like you're expressing yourself. Whiner is the word you used. Yeah, if you want to call it whining, that's up to you. But that's entirely your label. Oh, very well, call it moaning or whinging if you prefer. Moaning, whinging, bellyaching, still all just labels. I don't believe I shall be using the term bellyaching in any case, but as I was saying, in the moments I wake up, I feel free. I suppose it must be what being an ignoramus feels like.
I think you're disqualifying the positive there.
So you're telling me you feel good when
Because,
you wake up,
yeah, you
and
feel
then
good.
you call
That's
yourself an
positive.
ignoramus. Before you even get a chance to reflect on feeling good, you're insulting yourself. That's what I like to call disqualifying the positive. I'm simply stating facts. Stating facts shouldn't impede an argument. What good is that fact doing anyone? It's about as useful as an empty holster.
An empty holster is useful because then you can put something into it.
Lest I somehow forget that you were a cowboy. About this drug, though. Oh, very well. I suppose I might be discounting my experience. I don't know how to say this, amigo. You really don't like letting yourself be happy. Honestly, I'm failing to see the problem with taking this stuff. Seems like it's making you get the rest you need and it makes you feel good. What's the problem? First of all, I do not need to rest. And partaking of this plasma does have downsides.
Plasma. And
What kind of downsides? I do not know what happens when I partake of the substance. However, when I wake up, I feel refreshed. But I also smell of blood and sex. Once I even woke up wearing a football jersey. It was most distasteful. I guess you must be having some kind of good time.
yeah, you're going
That
out
is
and do
not
something.
my idea of a good time. I'm Dr. Drain. I am intelligent and worldly, not some ill-bred monster. I don't go gallivanting into godforsaken places to engage in depraved coitus and the consumption of dirty blood.
Coitus. If you don't know how to say a word, ask.
It sounds to me like you're real good at denying yourself things. Well, I should be better at it.
Should.
You know, Doc, a wise old vampire recently told me something I'm about to tell you. You keep talking about the things you should be doing. You, compadre, are shoulding all over yourself. Oh, well, that is vivid, isn't it? I can now add incontinence to my already considerable list of faults. I'm being serious. I'm listening to you tell me I should be doing this, and I shouldn't be doing that. But who gave you all them shoulds and shouldn'ts? I don't know. It shouldn't matter, should it? I've been dead for over 400 years. It's the oldest stuff that sticks with us, amigo. We all got traumas. Heck, we're dead men. That's traumatic no matter what. What we gotta start with is you. You've been through a lot. Don't rope yourself up so tight. Listen, we're doing good work already, I know it. Now, let's not push too hard. I would really like you to think about where all them shoulds are coming from before we meet again. And be good to yourself, all right, partner? Don't feel like you gotta go cold turkey on that plasma stuff. Yes, well, all the same, I'd rather not do it at all. Is that actually gonna happen, though? It might. You're dipping into it tonight, aren't you? I was thinking about it. All right, partner. Just give yourself a little compassion. That's all I'm asking. I'll admit, you've given me some things to think about. Not pleasant ones, mind.
Doesn't always
You
happen.
can handle it, partner. You're way smarter than I am. Yes, well, that is certainly true. Very well. I shall do some reflecting, inasmuch as our kind can reflect. I shall see you in precisely 4 weeks, then. Farewell, Sam.
Now.
Masterfully done, Samuel. I knew you'd do well,
I
but
had a
that
couple
doesn't
errors
make me
along the
any
way.
less pleased.
That was a hell of a rush. That fella's holding on tighter than a holster to a gunslinger's hip. It felt real good to help him look at himself a little more kindly.
Good, Samuel. Treasure this feeling. But also rest. Go downstairs, get something to drink, relax in your coffin. Next week you shall see a new client. I think they will be an interesting challenge for you. I bid you good evening, Samuel. Rest in peace.
You too, Andy. Well, I guess it's time I got me some grub.
Alright, and on that note, as we have a giant thing there, well,
that's it, I guess. My first client. Can't believe I'm doing this therapy stuff already.
well, you're not. Because that is where we will be tries desperately to... I guess I'm going to have to exit. But yeah, this is where we're going to enter. It's an interesting game, but I don't know that it's necessarily something that... I don't know, because I'm just thinking about how this relates to, like, Phoenix Wright. And I didn't enjoy the Phoenix Wright game, because it was just going over the same thing again and again, spot the inconsistency, and then go, blah. That is the thing. And this is much the same, but it is set in the world of therapy and not in the world of law. And I know more about the world of law, having worked in there for a period of time. And that one just annoyed me. And this one, I mean, it's not annoying me like that, but also I'm not sure it's exactly a kind of game that I want. So yeah, that is the end of Vampire Therapist for now. So yeah. So all I have to do now is remind myself that you, and I'm not saying I should do this, but I remind myself that I want to thank you for having been here, because you are amazing. Yes, never let anybody say anything different. Whether you've been here live and in person or later on the VOD, the fact that you're here for any amount of time means that I appreciate you. Yeah? You should be appreciated. You should have a positive thing happening for you. We will be back in just a minute as we're going to look at a third game. It'll be the last game that we look at for today. But yeah. So, until I get back, whenever that next is for you, I have been Richard, and this whole thing around us, well, that's been LMTDTMFFR, or Say It With Me Now. Limited time offer. No vowels. And you have fun, and, of course, as always, stay weird.